now, the old and the proud. I watch like the down, I laugh at these clowns. Girls get aroused, they open their mouths. They stop around me, the guards around me, no bars around me. Stomach of the beast, thunder on the streets. Bastard baby daddy, cause I don't make them happy. Now they wanna blast me. When I was broke, y'all was in the smoke, y'all was in the spinning, y'all was in pretending. I was prophesizing, the coming and the rising, and I was hypnotizing.
Feels like, feels just me. Oh God, it's just me. Feels like, it's just me. Feels like, it's just me.
How you doing? We have another episode of Fingers and Fish Production, right? Today, we have my lady, Erotica.
Hey!
You know, Erotica here, right? And she's gonna be interviewing Erotica.
Yes, I will be interviewing today the most beautiful, handsome, sexy, sexual, talented producer, writer, humble friend, Mr. Brandon E. Brooks. All day.
All day.
Thank you for that.
I'm glad to have you here, right? So I mean, we're gonna go further into it. So Brandon is basically a movie producer, writer, all that. So he does it all. He does it all, right? Well, I'm gonna get out the camera for a second, but before I get out the camera, there's something you need to do.
We're gonna talk about how sexy you are
I'm sexy.
in this shirt.
I'm bringing it back.
Look, you brought sexy back. You walked in the room. You came in the room. You came. And look, and I saw that shit when I came in the room. And I meant to tell you when I walked in, but damn it, how you gonna be sexy? You sexier than Polo right now.
Polo.
Okay.
So this is not Polo. This is my, you know what I'm saying. It's actually my boy's T-shirt, right? It's, you know what I'm saying. It's a PL Rock, right? You know what I'm saying. The P stands for Pierre LaRock, right? So I've known him for
Pierre LaRock?
Yeah, he's from New York. You know what I'm saying?
So this is what I'm saying. So he's trying to he's bringing sexy back. He put it on sexy. So you got like double sexy, looking
sexy.
mad
How you
fly.
want sexy on sexy?
I just can't even.
You
I
know what I mean?
literally almost can't handle it. Like it's
You know
just too
what I mean?
much. It's too much.
You know what I mean?
It's too much for real. Like I asked you. I said, where can I get one?
Oh, definitely.
Can I get one?
Yeah, we're gonna tell you, you know, at the end of the video how to get this, you know, saying the shirt like this. And next time she's gonna be in one of these,
rocking
right?
it.
Yeah, the way she does it.
Got that,
so we're gonna put
like
sexy
a
on
nice
sexy.
shirt, baby,
you know
like
what I'm
a
saying?
nice. Woo, you just don't.
So I'm gonna leave y'all with that, right? I'm gonna leave y'all and we're gonna. They're gonna conversate. They're gonna conversate.
Brandon Berry right here, looking so cute over here. I'm gonna try to get serious for a second because there's some things that I need to ask you.
You sure you can do that?
I can definitely ask you. Can you answer? That is the question.
I got answers.
All right. So I have known Mr. Brandon Berry since he was pre-pubescent, and you know, besides being incredibly talented, and I just gotta say, you know, if anybody is, you're talented and you can do pretty much anything, but out of everything, that is the top of my list is you a good friend. You a good friend and you a good man. You a good friend and you a good man. And your work reflects that and your voice reflects that. But I want to talk about your company that you founded and that you've stuck through.
The company is called SAINTSINNER Entertainment. It's a full-service film production company. I direct, produce. I started out as an actor 20-plus years ago, but yeah, segued into the writing and producing and directing side of it. Done quite a few films, stuff that's on Amazon, Hulu, different Tubi, different things, and And I think to go back a little bit to the sexy thing you said, I think that's sexy is confidence. Sexy is what you're exuding right now. Sexy is a mood, and that's why I'm excelling at what I do, because like you got to have a certain amount of confidence and belief in yourself to be able to do this, because it's tough. It's tough to find money to do this. It's tough to go in rooms when people are waiting to say no. So you have to believe that you are in this to win it, and you got to believe that the shit that you're putting out is something people want, and they need you, and just as much as you need them. So that's when you go in a room like begging, you walk out without results. So for me, when I go in rooms, people understand that I'm bringing something that is something that's to be brought. It's something that's live. It's something that's popping, and something that's going to make them money. That's a key factor too. You have to bring them something that's lucrative to them, so then they can see the value in you by what you bring forth.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. We're talking about money, okay? But you also what I'm hearing you say is value and values, right?
Yeah.
And sticking it out, right?
Yeah.
Tell me what it was that drove you to stick to those things, because you didn't veer from, you never said, you never gave up, right?
Yeah.
So if you were going to say something to someone who was, they aspire to make film, they aspire to be a professional, they aspire to write, what is it that drove you to stick to that and not really veer from, and not give up?
Just the belief that I have a voice, the belief that I have something to put out to the world through my films and the documentaries and different things that I want to do and that I've done. And again, it's something that you have to believe 110% that you want to do. And you got to get up every morning, like eating, breathing it, because if you don't, it's easier to go work in a warehouse or work at Home Depot than it is to struggle and to try to do this, because there's many talented people who are unsuccessful. But you have to have the mindset that if you don't give up, if you keep pushing and you get yourself around the right people. I've been around a lot of the wrong people that have kind of pulled me down and have kind of like seeped gears off of my creative like process. So now I'm in a place in recent memory where like the world is my oyster. Everything is in front of me. I see the success. I see the big premieres. I see the awards. I see all the things that I've worked 20 plus years for. So it's about a mindset of believing in yourself and believing that you can do it, and needing it to breathe, needing it to be something more than just a job. It needs to be a lifestyle. It needs to be a way that gets you through each day.
Can you tell me something, you can give me one or a couple things, that you sacrificed in order to get to that level of mentality where where you're like, I want this so much and I believe in myself so much. Are there things that you've sacrificed?
Absolutely. The number one thing is relationships, personal relationships. I don't have children. I don't have a wife. I don't have at the time a girlfriend. So, but you sacrifice sometimes these things for your creative soul, because during the process when I did, it was taking away from it, because there was deterrence. There's people, there's jealousy, there's people who's that in the picture with you, and it's a script supervisor that I might not even know their last name, but again, it becomes a thing as to, and I'm on different hours on sets. I might be on a set for 17 hours, like 5 straight days.
Yeah.
And when you're in a relationship or you have children or things, you have to make them the priority. But I don't I made that choice to not be in that position, whereas some people around me have, and it has been a deterrent to them and the relationship we've had as business partners, because they have responsibilities that I don't have. I can jump on a plane and go take a job in Texas or California or whatever, and I don't have to think about talking to my spouse or what my kids are gonna like think or whatever, missing those special moments, because I've made it about my career. I've also friendships, because there's a lot of undercutting and things. I don't have the same circle of friends I had through high school, college, because once you're close to a lot of people, and then once it becomes about money and it becomes about ego and it becomes about jealousy, then things change. So my circle is very small now. So, and I don't trust as many people because I have had the knife stabbed in my back many times. So it teaches you the lessons of who are the people that you need to be around and the right people that should be in your circle.
Okay, so going off of that, I mean, I know that me and you, we've been friends for a long time. We've known each other for a long time. We got closer over the past like 4 years, 3-4 years. But let's just say you have somebody who, they got that shit. They got kids, they got a wife or a husband or whatever. How would you advise them to navigate their dreams and still pursue them? Just like one thing. Do you think it's possible to have both?
Absolutely. It's possible to have both. You just have to have a clear perspective on the most important thing. The most important thing is always your children and your family. That should always be. But if you have that mindset and you're not fully focused too much on the other side of things, then you can. There's plenty of people who are married and have children and have successful careers behind the camera, in front of the camera. But it's that perspective of having that equilibrium, spending the time you need with your family, and also balancing that. And also, for a lot of people, having the stability of a job that pays the bills and takes care of things, because this isn't a stable business until you reach a certain pinnacle to where it can take like Dwayne Johnson doesn't have to worry about that. Like a lot of established actors or directors don't have to worry about that. But somebody like myself or someone that's on the come up, you're going job to job, and that you can't do that when your kids need to eat and your family needs to be taken care of.
But you are saying that it's possible.
Yes, absolutely. There's plenty of examples, but again, it's keeping things in perspective and making sure that the grass is watered where it needs to be, but you can also have those dreams on the side. You can also, anybody can be a producer, anybody can do specific things. You might not be able to jump on a plane tomorrow and go across country if you have a family that counts on you on a daily basis. But if you do, I know a lot of people that plan out things months ahead of time, that they're going to do something in September with me. But they're working through the summer and spending time with their kids and going on vacations and going to the shore and doing things because they know they're going to be away for a month shooting a movie with me. So again, it's just putting things in perspective and making sure that nobody is left out, especially your family.
Okay, so kind of building off of that, what kind of advice would you, like, how have you dealt with the motherfucking haters? How did you do it? How are you doing it? How do you do that? Because I know, and I know you, we've had many conversations about this. Like, shit goes up and down, right? Haters are consistent. They're always there. How do you, now that you have this experience, right? And now, what would you recommend? What would you say? How do you handle the haters?
At this point, because of the place I am, like subconscious wise, like in this point in my life, I just don't, to be honest. Like haters that are pulling you down are already beneath you.
Ooh, don't acknowledge those bitches. Oh shit,
like,
all day.
So for me, it's like I used to have worry about anxiety, and I used to have like, oh man, this person's talking shit, this person's whatever. But again, they're talking it from a place of nowhere for the most part. They're talking about like because they want to be like where you are. They want to be seen the way you're building yourself to be seen. Instead of like joining with me and we all like have the fruits of our labor.
Yes.
Because I'm about anybody helping. I've helped a lot of people that have turned and kicked the legs out from under me. But I still will help people because but I have to believe in them now. You have to prove that like, okay, you're worth the time to take on, and I have to trust you because I've built that. I've built that equity in myself and my career to be able to say, okay, if I'm going to bring you into this, then you gotta show me. You gotta show up a half an hour early. You gotta put the time in because I've paid the price.
Yes.
Multiple times.
Yes.
And I've bled, I've sweat, many tears. So for me, you gotta I don't worry about haters now because again, they're already down there. So for me, that's where they'll stay unless if they want to come up on a throne. Then that's their thing to do. Yes, that's what they have to do for themselves. I can't pull you up. I'll pull anybody up that's willing to be humble and wants the opportunity. But if you want to be in a negative space, I can't mess with you. So
okay, because we're talking real wisdom right now. This is going off of that. How are you going to deal with all the bitches that are trying to get with you now? How are you gonna deal with it? Because you talk shit like that, the bitches are coming. They're coming like dollar bill. Okay, because this is how they come in. They come in. What you gonna do with all that?
You just let life flow. Whatever happens, happens.
Yes.
And again, I'm not about fakeness. That's very key for me. There's been a lot of people in my life that'll come at me different ways and hey, we should get coffee, we should go out, we should do this, and it's like always you see it a mile away. Like, okay, you want me to cast me? You want me to cast you in my movie, or you have ulterior motives. People that come at me genuinely, then that's the respect that they get back. So. So I mean, and it's not, and I'm never disrespectful to a woman or anybody, but
no, you're not.
Respect is earned. So if somebody comes at me genuinely and is like, "Hey, I'd love to go out for coffee. I'd love to go out or whatever," or if I do that to somebody, then it's all real. But but there's a lot of fakeness. There's a lot of people that are trying to find a come up, and some people could find a come up if they came from a place of truth, but they come from a place of negativity. So it just doesn't work out. If it starts out wrong, then it's always going to end wrong. So.
Okay. Brandon.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
We're going to talk about this shit right now because there was a time, a couple years ago, during COVID, me and you had this very deep conversation about women, and you were telling me about you had gone on a date with a woman. And how she was judging. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. Because okay, but listen, pero because the exposure exposes people so that other people can level up. Like your knowledge to me is completely priceless. You have been there for me through some very, very dark times. And there was this time you was telling me about this girl. You went on some blind motherfucking date. And she was judging your car. She was judging your shoes. She was judging all this shit. And she was nasty as shit. I want to know. Here's what I want to know. Because this is what people do, men and women. I'm gonna call everybody everybody's bitches. So it's male, female. There's no gender. There's no gender here. But is there a part of you that gets satisfaction when these people who judge and they kind of are like, you ain't got the right shoes, you ain't got the right. All this stuff, and they don't even see your talent and your value and your worth, right? Is there right? Okay, so this is where we're going. I'm not trying to expose the hoe. I'm just saying I'm not trying to expose the hoe, but Here is my message. Here's the message.
Bring it on.
Here's the message. Is there a point where you say fuck it so hard that like people that try to use you, they think that you've got something that can level them up? When did that happen in your journey to the king that you are today? Because to me, this is like king level 1. And you're just going up from here, right? So that the bitch that was like, oh, I don't like your shoes, I don't like your car, I don't like all this stuff. What was the point where you were like, fuck it. Like, because you have people that want to pursue dreams and they want to pursue exactly what you're doing, right? But they allow that shit to creep in. It's poison. I've always seen you say no. You have never put pussy above your dreams, right? Baby. So what is the strength that you would tell somebody, like, it's hard out there. It's hard
For a pimp.
It's baby, it's hard. Okay? It's hard for a pimp out there. Very few people can do what you do. Right? So, what would you say right now today to the hoe that was like, I don't like your shoes, I don't like your outfit, I don't like anything. I see your value. I love you. I see your value. Right? I see what you deserve. What would you say to two people? The bitches that are trying to use people and the other people who are trying to stay away from it. What is it that you do? Because you've been in this industry for years. How old are you, Bernie Bear?
I don't know if it's midnight.
It's not birthday, baby.
Almost 45.
You're almost that is a sexy ass number. Ooh, JB, that's a sexy ass number.
For now.
Oh, that's a sexy. Okay. What would you say to those two groups of people, like the people who are thirsty, trying to get a role, this and that, they're trying to do that? What would you say to those hoes? And then what would you say to the people who are like, what is the strength that drives you to not dive into it? Because I know that shit would be hard for me. That shit would be hard for anybody because people throwing things at you. What is it?
To say to those specific, just like I said before, just keep it real. It starts with a place of, it starts at a place of real. Like that situation with the blind date was.
Where you at?
Where
you at, girl?
That was 90s. So again, I was still young.
Yeah, they taught me a lesson when I was young. I was probably 18 or 19.
So I wonder where she at. I don't know welfare, but okay, go ahead.
But again, it's you. If you don't look at the real person, then you don't see the qualities. You don't see
and that's why some people that meet each other in high school and they stay sweethearts and they stay together forever. I know people married 60, 70 years and they have a beautiful relationship. But again, a lot of people are looking for luxury. A lot of people are looking for
the easy way.
What this person can build for me. And they're looking at younger ages now, especially in the way we are now in this TikTok generation. So I just say keep it real. Like people come to me real, and that's the way they're treated. I don't care if it's in business, personal, like family, whatever it is. Don't come to me with fakeness. Like I had bullies when I was in elementary school. When I started making movies, were coming at me like, yo, brother, what's up, yo? How you doing? And like I forgot. Like what they did, how they terrorized me, like when I was 4th, 5th grade. But if they would have come at me as an adult and just said, look, I was an asshole when I was a kid. We were kids. We're adults now. I apologize for all of that. I'd love to. I'm trying to be an actor. I'd love to audition for you. I'd be like, all right, cool, because I'm long past all of that. I'm in a different space as far as, and I took care of, like, as a bully, I stood up for myself, and then they weren't bullies anymore. Right. They became my friends, because when you pop somebody in the eye, you do what you got to do, then it diffuses the situation. So for me, it comes from a place of realness, and if you can come at me real, then that's what you get back. If you come at me fake, then there's too many people that are trying to be something. Ooh. That if you're not trying to be anything beyond that, then there's really no space for you in my space. So.
Oh, boundaries like a mug. Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, if you were going to have sex with a famous woman, who would it be? I kind of think I know, but you can go ahead and say it.
He's gonna put me on the spot. Right
yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Ah.
An intimate relationship.
Relationship.
Yes.
Oh, so since we're talking relationships, all right. I mean, it's again being the life that I've lived, being very kind of centered on my career. I'm told that I'm picky, but it's not really from a picky perspective. Okay. But I see kind of more of a package than I see like the overall beauty. Sometimes people look at, oh wow, this person's gorgeous, or a model or whatever. Like I've always thought
Dawson was amazing.
That I know. She's
an amazing actress.
That's who I was going to say.
She's gorgeous. She's an amazing actress. Girl. She's an amazing person.
Is she
so for me, I don't know if she's still with Governor Booker, but again,
oh,
it's like,
whoa.
But what I'm saying is that, but it's a package of a lot of different things. So,
we all know Brandon Berry loves the Latinas. Yes, in the audience.
I want to ask a question, right? So you do the films, right? Who inspired you? What's some directors that inspired you? And so I won't have to ask again, right? Why did you pick horror as a genre?
Okay, because when I was a little kid, like from very, very young, Alfred Hitchcock, John Carpenter inspired me with stuff that I was allowed to watch when I was young.
So those were the first two, that from Psycho, The Birds, Rear Window, Vertigo. And then obviously the 78 Halloween, and then The Thing and different things. And that's, as a young person, just kind of consuming, horror became the thing that I was fascinated the most with.
So horror became that, and then action films. I grew up a huge, huge fan of Kung Fu movies, which started with Bruce Lee. Posters all over I repost on social media, Bruce Lee quotes all the time. I've read his book multiple times, and I still follow that philosophy. I studied Jeet Kune Do, so for me that's very integral in my life. And then following the young Jackie Chan, the young Jet Li, and like not the American films, but the films that were made in Asia, like Fist of Legend, and like all those Police Story, all those amazing films that. And Sammo Hung and Yuen Bu, and like all those amazing characters, and yeah, that shaped kind of even my writing for horror. And the horror genre, the love came from the horror from that. But I do fancy myself, even though I'm trying to build a reputation in horror, I do fancy myself an all-around writer, because I do write anything.
Absolutely.
I write dramas, I write biopics, I write comedy, whatever someone hires me to write, I write.
Absolutely.
But I have a love for making horror and for trying to push some of the horror into action, just because I grew up loving those types of films. So.
I love that. So like talent does not come in the package that you think that it does, right? So I've never known anyone that follows their dreams and their passions as much as you do, right? So like random shit will like completely inspire you, and then like you completely go for it, right? And this is rare. This is not something that like everybody does. So when you tell me about the day that you decided to open your film company. Tell me about the day that you were like, fuck it, I'm going to make this shit official, I'm going to do it. Tell me about that moment. If you can recall what it was that was like, this is what I'm doing.
I don't know that there was a specific moment.
At least in my brainstem, something specific. But it was a time in the early 2000s when I was in acting school. I was going through the paces of auditioning. I was auditioning for a lot of things that just weren't interesting to me. Like casting people would send me out to be a corner boy, like extra in like a movie. And I didn't really know at the time what a corner boy was because, again, I didn't grow up in those specific environments.
But I was willing to play anything, but I
wasn't getting sent in for anything that was interesting to me. I wanted to kick ass on film. I wanted to be in horror films. I wanted to do something that I watched.
Okay.
So that for me was kind of the reason why I said, okay, let me learn how to write. I was always a pretty good writer through elementary school. So I was like, let me try to figure out this screenwriting thing and write parts for myself that I want to play. I want to be the kung fu guy. I want to be the person who's fighting the Michael Myers type character. And
that's where that started. And then I started doing that. And that's where my first company started, probably, I want to say, in 03 or 04 with my partner, Brian L. Jones, that passed away.
And Adam Shashelsky, that is still a good friend of mine. And we made this little horror film called Vengeance. And again, we went out for a summer. I blew like all of my 401k on this little horror movie in the woods, just kind of based off of kind of a Friday the 13th type premise. And again, it never went anywhere, but it was a great learning experience just to go out and actually shoot a whole movie and cut it together. And we premiered it, and 300 people came and watched it, and it never got picked up. But again, it was a learning experience. It's a first time kind of thing that I did, and it kind of set me off on the journey that I would continue on as far as creatively realizing the mistakes I made, and then how to kind of rectify those mistakes going forward.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about being black in the horror industry and in the film industry. Tell us a little bit about the challenges that you have faced, a couple examples about being a king, a black man, in an industry that caters completely to the opposite. Did you find, is there a difference? Like, did you find shit to be harder years ago? Just give us a couple examples of the challenges that you face.
It's always a challenge as a person of color. It's probably always going to be when you're trying to get substantial amounts of capital to make things on a bigger level. It's never easy, but I will say when I started, it was a little bit easier because before the social media explosion, you had phone conversations, you had emails that were kind of just starting.
Right,
so people would listen to me and think I was a white guy.
Right.
So I would get, then when I walked into the studios in LA or I met with these people are, whoa, like, and then that's when you saw the kind of excuses or changes kind of in like the people sitting across from you because they thought they were dealing with someone a little bit different. Now, everyone can see your multiple social medias. They can look you up in 2 minutes and see, oh, okay, that's what he looks like. Okay, I know what I'm dealing with. But it's still the challenge of content. And I still think it comes down to preparation. I think it comes down to being ready for the opportunity. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
That is deep.
So it's like, for me, like early in my career, there was things I needed to learn. So I was meeting people at film festivals or at events, and I got this script, I'd love to send it to you, but I wasn't ready for that caliber of actor. I wasn't ready for Kevin Bacon or Will Smith or whoever I was talking to because I didn't have the pitch deck, I didn't have the package, I didn't have the money. That's how the world works. So you have to be ready for the blessing. You have to be ready for.
I love it.
So now we go into meetings. I just stepped out there and like had a meeting about a big project we're trying to make, and it's like you have to be ready for when financiers throw stuff at you, because they're looking for a reason to say no. So you got to give them every reason to say yes. So you gotta say, I need this is I'm the person for this. This is the vision. This is why this is worth your time and worth you finding $1 million or however much for this movie. And that's what it comes down to. Too many people, and I'm accused of this early in my career. Too many people jump the gun and not ready. And so you gotta be ready.
That's the whole message.
People.
That's the whole message right there. The message is, y'all, get ready. Get ready, be ready. Wake up every day ready. Be confident, know what you got, know your talents, and be ready. Do whatever it is that you need to do to be ready. So, thank you. This was beautiful. I swear. Like, Brandon, I love you. You've been there for me through very dark times. You are the fucking shit. You're talented and humble and beautiful. So, thank you.
See his work.
Yes. Okay, go to SAINTSINNER. He's on Facebook. Let's hear it.
SSE Brandon on Instagram. There's SAINTSINNER Entertainment on Facebook. You can find me by my name, Brandon E. Brooks, on Facebook. And if you shoot me a message, I can't guarantee it's going to get back to you right away, but I will respond because even if it's just to lead a filmmaker or an actor in the right direction, if they want to submit for casting, or a lot of people ask me questions about things, and I will give advice because I wasn't afforded that always in my career early. So I will try to push you in the right direction. If I can help, then I will also do that too, because I try to give back as much as possible, because even though I'm still on the road to where I'm trying to ascend to, I try to, anybody that's starting, I know how hard it is. So if you hit me up, then I'll definitely see what I can do. So
thank y'all. This David.
Thank you.
The shit right here. Go check him out. You can't go wrong.
This has been another Fingers to Fist production. Thank you.